What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review, and it's probably obvious. You probably should expect this, but every time Wasianiverson does this, I still get blown away. Look at these scores, man. Project PBE started today, if you guys aren't aware. This is basically a ladder that Kai Watanabe created for PBE, for the best players in the world to get really good practice, and Wasianiverson has been getting some very good practice in. Scores started off with an 8th, and then just went 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1. I mean, a little slip up there to start off, and then he just decided to lock in. So we are going to watch one of these games from Wasianiverson. Also, the new patch dropped today. If you guys were not looking at, like Mortdog's Twitter and stuff like that, you can go find the patch information there. But the patch shook things up a lot, moved the meta, I would say, a lot further away from this like 3-cost reroll. In all of these games I saw from Wasianiverson, I don't think I saw a single 3-cost reroll game in there. It was basically all fast 8 style stuff, fast 9 style stuff when you can get away with it, and just playing good tempo TFT into very, very solid lines. And we're going to talk through those lines as we watch this game. But yeah, I mean, it's so crazy that Wasianiverson just keeps doing this. But at the end of the day, he's just a really good player, and really good players tend to win games of TFT when they play TFT. So that is pretty good for him. We start off here with an actual kind of a little bit of a conundrum here. He does have to decide, does he want to hold on to the Mordekaiser pair here over the Veigar pair? Veigar obviously plays into this Meeple line, which is still very solid. It got nerfed a little bit today, but not so much that it, was unplayable. But he says, you know what? I have this good Timebreaker opener here. I have a very reasonable next in on this board, and honestly, the Joseph Gath, but maybe the Mordekaiser can be something I play later, and so I'm just going to hold on to this. Also, I don't know. You can't even see Mordekaiser here Augment now that I think about it, because it got removed from the game. Forge and Strength Shimmer Scale Essence going long. Got buffed this patch, right? It gives 13 gold at the start now, which is a decent bit. We also do have pretty AP heavy items by my estimation. Forged in Strength, I think, is a very, very solid option, but does play into a lot more of those reroll style options. Then Shimmer Scale Essence, the big upside to this augment is you could go for a double slam here, right? You could go for Mogul's Mail plus the Anima Visage here, and then just have an item here. And also, the other really nice thing about holding onto this Mordekaiser pair is that we did get a tiny dupe drop, or a little dupe dropped. So if you take something like Shimmer Scale Essence, all of a sudden, you play this Mordekaiser, you can dupe this guy, start the game with a Mordekaiser 2 with an Anima Visage, and you are off to the races. This start is amazing here. Mordekaiser also got buffed up on this patch, so he is going to be a better early game tank, and we do even pick up the Leona so that we can play a Vanguard opener with this guy, and actually, have him be tanky enough that he's going to live. The only downside is we're going to scout the lobby real quick and see that there's at least 2 people who are full opening with this Timebreaker setup. I mean, I've talked about it a million times already, but Timebreaker or the Primordian, both of these openers, you really must play in the early game if you are lost streaking. If you are trying to lost streak and you do not have access to these guys, I mean, sometimes you have to, but it feels horrible, obviously, because you really get a lot of value out of playing these guys in the early game. I mean, with Timebreaker, losing those fights is a reroll per round, and then with Primordian, they nerfed it down in the early game. It's a little bit less gold, but still, even 1 gold per round is very significant. Think of it as making an extra interest every single round. Rotate into this player here who has Soraka's Miracle, which did get buffed up a little bit. This is the one that heals up your unit, and if it survives, it actually heals up your player HP. The upside here is that is a very, very slow artifact, plays for slow fights, which means we can actually pick up a dub here and be put into an amazing spot here. We can fit the Nasus on this board here as just a better unit. And we did pick up, kind of interestingly, this little Fate Weaver pair to play over right now. So we're not even going to be playing Darkstar on this board, but just going to play the Fate Weaver. Can't obviously farm any gold off the TF, but he is still a pretty solid unit. He got nerfed a little bit, but Caitlyn is still completely unnerfed, which, maybe that'll be my VOD review for tomorrow, is like a TF Caitlyn reroll game, because that comp still, I think, a force of nature in PBE lobbies. But yeah, gonna hold on to a bunch of extra Chos, I guess. I doubt that we're going for some kind of Joseph Gath reroll, but I mean, it'd be cool if we did see it. Spat versus Tiny Dupes. I mean, the Tiny Dupes, it brings you closer to like getting your 3 stars. He really likes it that much. Okay, wow. I'm ready to be schooled, Wasianiverson. I feel like people have taken this one, like a lot more than I would have expected. I imagine Tiny Dupes, for something like a 3-star, it's nice, but aside from that, I mean, are we even going to go for the Cho'Gath 3 here? I guess we'll see. You can use it for just upgrades here. So we'll see what he wants to do with these tiny dupes, because there's basically two ideas from tiny dupes. One, you can just use it in a spot like this to, say like, okay, we have, Caitlyn here. Usually it'd be like we have Caitlyn pair and you can turn that into Caitlyn 2. Or, we have, Cho'Gath pair and you can turn that into Cho'Gath 2. Probably not going to double tiny dupe a Caitlyn, because that's pretty bad value out of what is essentially our like mini augment. But yeah, I'm curious to see where he goes with this, because like we could go for the Cho 3. I mean, it seems like that's why he held on to these Chos. Also, we do. All right, let's look at some of these options. Arbiter got nerfed pretty precipitously. So my VOD review, with the spend 50 mana ones, both of them got nerfed pretty hard. So we can look then more at some of these kind of like offensive style Arbiter buffs here. So every 4 seconds, all Arbiters gain 10 AP, can be pretty decent. When an Arbiter attacks 3 times, gain 7 AP, must be better than the other one. Yeah, so this must be the take here. And this will be the pickup here. Makes a lot of sense based on our direction, right? We already have, a Mordekaiser 2 who can be just a very solid like Vanguard frontline. We have the Leona already. We have this Zoe now. We have Bo, which is half of a Gwynsu's Rage Blade. And we know that we're going to be getting that Gambler's Blade later. So a lot of really good reasons to kind of like pull us into this Arbiter line, which is obviously going to play around LeBlanc later. The main carry for that line can play Diana, I guess, but this spot definitely plays much more into LeBlanc, I would say. And then if we can get this Gwynsu's Rage Blade made, which I mean we got the bow already. That's partially, I would say, probably why we took Tiny Dupes, even though he doesn't. I'm still curious to see where these tiny dupes go, but it might just be, we need a Gwynsu's Rage Blade. Let's take this, and we can live with it. And yeah, just uses it to make the Lysandra 2 to play onto this board. And yeah, is going to make the Teemo 2 as well, who can then hold really nicely onto this Gwynsu's Rage Blade. Also plays kind of a funny little Shepherd board for now. Obviously has the Lysandra and the Teemo, and just gets the Meepsy in for 3 Shepherd here. Going to be some extra AP. And look at this. Doesn't slam the Gwynsu here because he wants to make this fight last as long as possible to try to farm as much as possible off of Mogul's Mail, which a nice little optimization there from Wasian. Knows that he's going to make the Gwynsu, obviously, but doesn't need to slam it just yet, because that's going to actually speed up the fight and make it so that we farm less in this spot here. All right, gonna get the Gambler's Blade here. I didn't imagine that, and you actually see he's already got this board planned out, this LeBlanc Karma board. If you guys haven't played this board, just fits together really, really nicely. You can get stuff like Shepherd in via Meepsy. LeBlanc Karma can duo carry really nicely. You have a big main tank in Nunu and Willump here. You get Dark Star in, you get Arbiter in, 3 Arbiter actually. So just a really easy, strong board to play that, I think especially after some of the changes, obviously the frontline Arbiters are a bit weaker, but if you go for these damage style Arbiters, you can be in a really, really good spot. To play into that, I don't know what you would actually want to take here. Neither of these. The boxing lessons, wow, he's actually just going to take the boxing lessons and say, you know what, a little bit of extra HP on my board can't hurt. I do have an extra unit on this board, I guess, in that we have the Bia and buy-in on this board. I don't know if this one's just Bia or just buy-in. I don't really completely get how it works. But yeah, I mean, we do get an extra unit, so that's a little bit of extra HP, and HP on Vanguards is very good. Ooh, we do see what a spot from this guy. Subservice, man. I feel like Subscription Service has to be a really nice augment this set, because you have the possibility of high rolling an early Thomas Kench, getting that guy. I don't know if they got it on 2-1 or 3-1. Even 3-1 still very early to pick it up, to start farming you some resources. Find the Mighty Mech here, which could, I guess, theoretically come in, but really I imagine that's just gonna be a level 7 addition to this board. And I don't think we really care that much about truly pivoting game plans into a Mighty Mech game. I don't think there's any reason to do that. We have a very good line. We have this Gwynsu's Rage Blade, which that's not going to play into Mighty Mech whatsoever. And so we can just stay on plan, stay with what we know is going to be good here. Have the Teemo start farming up with the Gwynsu's Rage Blade, and look at all the gold that we're farming, man. Gamblers farming, Moguls farming. We are going to be rich, rich, rich. Lovers or Blessing Speed? Actually, because the thing is, Blessing Speed sucks now, and we're on a win streak. I would probably take Lovers here, but I mean, this is gonna be really good later. The question is, can you wait until later? Let's see what Wasian, what his estimation is. Can he survive for a few rounds? With Blessing on nobody, and yeah, he does end up kind of grimacing a little bit and taking it here. I mean, Yeah, I mean, you'd never actually just slam it onto Timo. I mean, it's just too much of a... I mean, yes, it's a little bit of tempo, but I mean, we're just going to hold on to this for a few rounds. Hope to find our LeBlanc sooner rather than later. It's going to be a big buff, obviously. Extra AS onto this unit that loves AS so much is really, really nice here. And so, yeah, we are going to grab it in this spot here. All right. Hold the line, though. Mordekaiser continuing to tank up here with this Mogul's Mail. Looks like the most uncontested 5 streak of all time. Just this Mordekaiser 2 off that that little duplicator just put us into an amazing spot. And man, Timo's farming so much. Going to sell the Rostov here. We held on to it, but I don't think... it really matters that much on this board for now. Pick up a Lowy too. That's a nice pickup. So yeah, we could actually move items over to her now, so she can be the main tank for a little while until we find something like a Nunu. And yeah, we keep going on this board. Hope to pick up that last win on the full win streak here. We did also, you know, have the possibility of moving stuff like Zoe up, but you don't really want to go for that. I don't think it's really worth it on a board like this. You'd rather actually have the damage from Zoe, not let her die. You have enough frontline, and an extra 30 HP on your frontline. Is that really going to make a difference? I mean, in a fight like this, obviously not. So yeah, we've completed the 10 streak here. Now we just have the plan of going level 8, going to decide how much we need to roll for our board. Because, I mean, you could go fast 9. My assumption is that we would want to roll down for like at least a LeBlanc 1 and maybe even some other stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what how deep Wasian wants to go here before we do opt to push 9. Get another bow as well. Could just be the GS. But yeah, he's going to push 8 here. Finds Mighty Mech, actually finds Jin. Pretty open holds here. But does pick up the Karma. Was that my music or... maybe that was my music. I don't know. I think I'm losing my mind. We do pick up Karma 2 on the roll down, which is very, very nice here, and does make the vow and does make the Giant Slayer here. Okay, so good spot. The Talon doing good work here. Just absolutely, I mean, not enough good work though, honestly. This is the medallion board from this enemy board, right? Medallion, reroll plus the Atrox. You know, playing like Fate Weaver medallion reroll, kind of cool with this setup from Stargazer. It's a pretty nice board. Is it nice enough to beat this Karma 2 that we picked up? No. And yeah, I mean, Wasian, he rolled it to 0 gold with the idea that, I mean, if we keep our streak, that's going to generate the econ to allow us to push levels, and will put us into an amazing spot. And yeah, I mean, no reason not to keep streak in a spot like this. Fast 9, I feel like... Well, we can actually talk about it after Augment selection. Soul's Awakening, 1 buff, 2 buff, Golden Gamble. Soul's Awakening has been nerfed pretty hard. It should be very good in this line, though. AD and AP and bonus true damage on a scaling comp, which this is, should be very, very nice. The question is it an augment that you're willing to take here? I don't really like Golden Gamble very much. I don't really like... I mean, 1 buff, 2 buff gives you, I guess, a red buff and a dupe? I mean, maybe 1 buff, 2 buff. I could see it. Because we don't have heal cut here. The red buff, blue buff is going to be solid enough onto the Karma. I could see, yeah, maybe a 1 buff, 2 buff take here. The dupe is pretty worthless right now, is the only downside. But yeah, he's looking at it for a second. Season new Recruit as well, which is kind of like the more high cap version. But yeah, he does opt to just take the 1 buff, 2 buff here. We get the LeBlanc in here. Finds the Mighty Mech 2 on that roll. Now we can put the red buff, blue buff there and then move all these items over to the LeBlanc. And the game is looking very, very nice here. And he can even hold the dupe here, and he can put the mod onto the LeBlanc, get that 20 AS onto her. She's going to be a monster on this board, especially with that Arbiter buff to give her the AP. I mean, this is everything that you would ever want in a spot here. And we still have the streak, right? We still haven't lost it because Wasian is so willing to roll down aggressively. Okay, to talk about rolling this set, you know, level 8, fast 9, fast 8, that kind of stuff. I do feel like a lot of people have hit on this. If you try to push fast 9 this set, there are no 5-cost tanks in the game. Shen is the only like pseudo tank that exists, but he's not even really a tank by Riot Games definitions. He is an attack or a magic fighter. So you're not going to get him to like eat aggro from your other like melee carries and things like that, but still he'll tank for your other stuff. But really, there are 5-cost tanks this set. What that means is you often do need to roll an 8 to stabilize. Must be cash flow here. Oh my God. I mean, that looks so good here. I don't know he's even... I'm really shocked that he's even thinking about this that much. Cash flow sounds insane in this spot. I mean, I guess the big question is, do we want the Echo... do we want the Echo Treasure Dragon or do we want the Varus Treasure Dragon here? I mean, I think Echo's pretty solid here. Gives you a last Karma item. We're doing pretty well on items, I guess is the idea, though. Versus Varus would put you in a spot where it's going to give our board a bunch of HP, which will be nice. Give us those extra 5-cost odds. So I think that's the biggest thing he was thinking about. But I don't think you can turn down 2 gold around when you're 100 HP. I mean, the amount of gold that you're going to get, I mean, count. It's 4 or 5 here. How many rounds do we play for the rest of this game? That's 2 gold for every single of those rounds, which, I mean, guaranteed we're going to live till like end of stage, 5, mid stage 6. I mean, that's already, a lot of gold farmed. So we are going to hold on to these rosts. But okay, back to my earlier point before I interrupted myself, as I often do. If you try to go fast now without rolling for these 4-cost tanks, you'll often end up in this spot where you don't have a 2-star frontline. You don't have this very important Rammus 2, Mighty Mech 2, Nunu 2, these kind of things. And if you don't have those, you don't have a stable board, and you can't just pick up a random Shen 2 and stabilize around it. I mean, sometimes you kind of can, but it's very, very sketchy. And so I think it makes a lot of sense on this patch in this set to play not so much for the super, skip level 8, go to 9 as you often see from really good players. It's more of like a roll on 8 and then push 9. We're looking for last Karma item and maybe some tank items. This is even components. This has Ionic Spark, which we do need, right? The only downside to it is, we're making a Sterax here, which honestly isn't even that bad of a downside here. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. The other big downside is that it doesn't give us a last damage item, but we can just use this as our last damage item. And yeah, he's going to move some items around, move the Sterax and the Moguls there. And yeah, this looks like a really nice setup here. I like this a lot here. And yeah, I mean, can just throw the anomaly onto the Karma. I think this is beautiful. Yeah, really nice itemization setup, especially when, this is a little bit suboptimal, but honestly not even bad. I mean, you have the Mighty Mech, who is actually a really nice Sterax holder, one of the best in the game. And so you can feel very good about this, and we'll see what we end up playing. I mean, this board obviously fits together really nicely. Oftentimes you'll see people playing the more vertical Vanguard version, but I mean, if you have a Mighty Mech 2, you play it, and you can see every single board really just scrambling to try to find these 4-cost tanks. And wow, look at this. Wasian gonna roll on 8 here for 2 things. One, he's rolling for the upgrade that is LeBlanc 2, Nunu 2 as well, big upgrades that we can find. He's also rolling for that 3-star 4-cost out, right? I mean, we have a ton of gold and a duplicator here. He's scouting the lobby and saw, okay, some of these 4-costs are quite uncontested. Mighty Mech a little bit contested, so probably not going to find that. But Nunu, I don't think was that contested. I don't know how contested LeBlanc was, but I don't think there's much LeBlanc in this lobby either. So we can look at, a 3-star 4-cost out here, and yeah, just going to slow roll every single round and say, you know what, I'm in a perfect spot to go for this. There's no reason for me to try to push 9 in this spot when I'm nearly guaranteed to hit my 3-star 4-cost given enough time, and we have a lot of time in this spot. Like I talked about, we're guaranteed to make it to probably like mid-stage 6, even if we lose almost every single fight. So yeah, like even if we lose this, I mean, that's another, like 14 HP or something like that we end up losing there. Not really the end of the world. Obviously, we'd like to win. But we can chill out here a little bit and play for our max cap, which would be a 3-star 4-cost. Yep, there's another Nunu, random Zoe 2. Surprised he's rolling this deep, but he really wants to pick up that Nunu 2 and actually gets rewarded for it. So yeah, Nunu 2 replaces the Mighty Mech. This is the very standard version of the board. Just beautiful traits here, exactly what we had in the team planner. Can actually move the Mogul's Mail over there, just saying this kind of idea you see it a lot where it's like, well, this is more of a gold generation item. I don't really need it onto the Nunu. I'd rather just have real items onto the Nunu, stuff like Protector's Vow, stuff like the Sterax as well, which gives a shield for Vanguard, so very nice. And yeah, we can just hold support items here, and we pick up a fight win. Every fight win is so big in this spot because it's another round that you get to chill here and dig for our 3-star 4-cost. Also, ooh, was that a lot of Zayas on the bench for that player? It looked a little bit worrying, right? Okay, no, they're not actually fielding Zaya, so it's only 4 Zayas. You always have to be scared of a prismatic ticket player because those guys can just spawn a 3-star 4-cost out of nowhere. Throwback to the World Championships, where that player hit a 3-star 4-cost, hit the 3-star, what was it? It was 3-star Yunara, and then they ended up losing. They ended up going 8th with 3-star Yunara. So, hey, it's not always a free win. Strange things can happen in games of TFT. Rotate into this solid Mighty Mech board. Really close fight, but we do end up just getting farmed up by the super utility Asol there. Asol really good at holding stuff like Morello and Void Staff, and we are seeing a bit of a Nunu wave here. Don't have to roll it down to 0. There is no such thing as a wave. This guy is holding a Nunu, which makes it a little bit harder to hit, but not impossible by any means. And they did still hold on to that Nunu there, right? I'm not crazy. That is another Nunu. Oh my god. Because it almost looks. No, why did they sell the Nunu? They're actually OK businessing Wasianiverson. What? He's got 6 Nunus. I mean, Some people, were playing Project PB, but they got to catch up. Oh my God. And I mean, that's it. That's literally Nunu 3 there. At the start of the roll down, Wasian's just going to keep rolling because he's going to say, yeah, maybe I can hit the Nunu and save my dupe for something else. Play for max cap here. Only 6 seconds left. And he hits it without the dupe. He didn't even need the dupe to hit it. You know what's funny though, is I wonder, would he have gone for this if he did not have the dupe, I feel like the answer might have been no. I think a lot of people would just push 9 in this spot, but he hit it without even needing it, which is just crazy. And now he has this extra out of like, okay, I can go for a 3-star Karma if I only find 2 more. But I mean, it's wraps, right? I mean, there's nothing to be done here. Even moves the death cap over to the Nunu. Really nice, just to say we talk about this all the time with 3-star 4 cost. But when there's a 3-star 4 cost, this unit converts from a tank into a carry. So all you need to do is make sure that this snowball is one-tapping as many units as possible, and that snowball did a pretty good job of that. Oh, good to see Nunu popping off as my main in league for a long time. It's fun to see him do work and fun to see him in a TFT set. It's been a long time. We're gonna roll down to see if we can hit the other Karma 3 out. Find Leblanc, but who cares about that? What? This guy's 19 HP. You're going to kill him, Wasian. I mean, if you 7-0 him, he's dead. We'll see what happens. They are full spreading the board to try to avoid Nunu ult as much as possible here, but I don't know how well that's going to work. Nunu walks into backline here and then just crashes it down. And is that... he's still alive for one more round, so we have Carousel. Okay. Not sure that that's going to be... I mean, honestly, this might just make things worse. We're one off of both here. Neither are out. Is Wasian really not going to sell and roll here? This is so bad. She's going to move JG over here, throw the anomaly on front line just because he doesn't care for it that much in a backline here. This guy going for some kind of 3-star, but Wasian not even going to sell, is just going to take the free win here, playing for that Project PB LP. I mean, just beautiful, game around this LeBlanc Karma comp, and then the cap out with the Nunu 3-star is a sugar on top. Sugar on top. All right. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my other links down below. I might as well. Nah, I should announce it ahead of time. I've told you guys already about the Legendary Tacticians program. This is my one-on-one coaching program. I've already opened that up to people in Tactician University, but on Wednesday, on April the 8th, that is going to go live. Signups are going to open up for everybody else. So far, like I said, I'm only starting with 8 slots, and 5 of those are already filled by people who are currently in my program. So I've got 3 open right now. We'll see if people in my... I want to obviously, give the priority to the people who are already, students of mine. But if things stay as they are, there'll be 3 slots that are going to open up on Wednesday. I will probably just add everyone in my Discord. So if you want to know my Discord, you know what? I will announce 9 a.m., which I'll say 9 a.m. my time, which is usually when these videos go live. I'm going to put signups for those live. So that is 7 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Eastern time. That is when I'm going to fully publish signups, so anybody can join. So if you want to grab one of those slots, I guess that's the best time to do it. But yeah, I'll have all the information. I mean, I've talked about all the information already. Maybe I'll shout it out in Wednesday's videos, or if you just want to DM me and ask me about it, I can send you the little fact sheet that I have for it. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Bye bye.